I don't know which way that's going.
Call the meeting to order. Mrs. Clary.
Chairman. Dear Father, be with us through these beautiful, gorgeous days that you give us every single day. It's been bright and cumulus clouds and kids are out playing. You know, farmers are in the field. And through all the craziness, don't let us forget what we have. We live in a land of beauty. Our people are incredible. And we guide us through the next few minutes even. But we appreciate everything that we have. In your name, amen.
Amen. Please rise. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone. In the event of an emergency or called upon to evacuate the building, please follow the signs to your nearest exit. If you need assistance, please ask. Once down and outside.
Call please.
Mr. Hanky.
Here.
Mrs. Fedler. Mr. Tall.
Here.
Mr. Shaw.
Here.
Mr. Hall.
Here.
Mr. Fisher. Mr. Baker.
Here.
Mr. Nolan. Mr. O'Brien.
Here.
Mr. Hahn.
Here.
Mr. Campbell.
Here.
Mr. Skelly.
Here.
Mr. Hogan.
Here.
Mr. Wilson.
Here.
Mrs. Clary.
Here.
Mr. Wang.
Here.
Mr. Rossell.
Here.
Okay, before we get started, I have an announcement. My grandson is graduating from Franklin Pierce Law School today in Concord, New Hampshire. And I'm supposed to be there. So it looks like we have great potential for bloviation on this agenda. And if we get to a certain point, I'm just going to get up and leave and let Ms. Fedler take over. I didn't give her any instructions or anything, so we'll just drop her into the mix and let her go. She's got one arm, so she'll be fine. Okay, so if I get up and leave, it's not because I'm mad, it's because I'm time stressed. Got it? Okay, we got one of my favorite things to do, some retirement presentations. And the first one's from the District Attorney's Office, Laura Taylor. Laura here.
He's enjoying retirement.
Now we got a presentation from Gina Cantanucci Mitchell from the Office for the Aging. There are several things related to this. Yeah. Our proclamation, which is in your packet for Older Americans Month. And we've got our Senior Citizens of the Year. So take off. When you want me to come up, take a picture, just let me know. What?
Work for them. That's fantastic. Good morning.
Morning.
I'm Gina Cantanucci Mitchell. I'm the Director for Washington County's Office for Aging, and it is my pleasure to speak today. So first, I would like to thank the Board of Supervisors for recognizing May as being Older Americans Month. May is nationally recognized as Older Americans Month, and during the month of May, we honor and recognize older adults for their civic service. This year's theme is Flip the Switch on Aging, which emphasizes a profound need to transform how society perceives, talks about, and approaches aging. It encourages individuals and communities to challenge stereotypes and dispel misconceptions. Throughout the year, our office collects nominations for Washington County residents aged 60 years of age and older who have an outstanding history of civic engagement. The Office for Aging Advisory Council then votes on 2 individuals using an anonymous process. I am honored today to present to you our 2025 awardees. We have Mrs. Kathy Comeray Whitcomb of Granville and Dale Lapointe of Hartford. During this process, I've gotten to know both Kathy and Dale. I can say that both of them are truly inspirational, and their life stories are absolutely profound. I would like to start by introducing you to Kathy. Kathy and her husband moved to Washington County in 2014, making Granville their hometown. After moving to Granville, Kathy joined the United Church of Granville and the Meadowy Valley Seniors of Granville. Kathy was instrumental in growing the church's craft sales and in supporting the church's community luncheons. She's initiated opportunities for community members and a variety of community groups to gather and socialize. Kathy serves as the chairperson for the Meadowy Valley Seniors Board of Directors. She started a crafting group that makes a variety of crafts support their local Head Start, Fire Department, and SPCA. Kathy also started a card writing project for homebound members and facilitates a monthly crafting group with residents at the Slate Valley Nursing Home. Prior to moving to Granville, Kathy lived in Jefferson County, where she was a special education teacher. In Jefferson County, she volunteered at the Stone Presbyterian Church, the American Legion Auxiliary, the Disabled Persons Action Organization, the Watertown Drug Abuse and Prevention Council, and the Volunteer Transportation Center, serving on their board of directors. She served in roles as deacon, elder, chairperson, and was awarded the Phyllis Bachman Community Service Award for community service on numerous occasions. Kathy was asked about her volunteerism, and she replied, "Volunteering to help others is in my DNA." Next, I would like to share with you Dale Lapointe's story. Dale and her husband are longtime residents of Hartford. Dale is one of 4 children and was raised by a single mother. Her mother was truly her inspiration for helping others. Dale has earned an associate's degree and 2 bachelor's degrees. Music is a big part of Dale's life. She plays the piano, organ, and clarinet, and is an active member of the Hartford Community Band and an organist for the Baptist Church. Dale started to volunteer at a young age. Dale has volunteered for the American Cancer Society, the Lake George Winter Carnival, Special Olympics, and LARAC. As a parent of a child with multiple disabilities, Dale has been a very strong advocate and parent member of the New York State OPWDD Family Support Services Council since it was formed in 1987. This group was formed to get advice from parents on new programs and in-home supports for children with disabilities. Dale also provides support as a parent advocate on the Hartford Central School Committee for Special Education. Her most recent volunteer efforts include being a trustee of the South Hartford Congregational Church and as the president of the Hartford Historical Group, which operates the Hartford Museum. She is currently participating on the Washington County Tourism 250th Committee and serves being a dugout mom for her granddaughter's softball team. Dale's advice to others is everyone has a talent or skill. Use your skills to contribute to your community. As you can see, both Kathy and Dale have dedicated countless hours to volunteerism. They are truly leaving an amazing footprint within our communities. At this time, I would like to say thank you to both of you for being true role models, for showing that action speaks louder than words, and for doing your part to make Washington County a great place to live, to retire, to raise families, and to give back. You're always willing to learn new things, which is something that I truly admire. You are, again, superheroes without capes. So thank you. So at this time, I'd like to offer you an opportunity to say a few words, if you'd like. And this is Kathy.
I just wanted to thank everyone for this honor. When I moved to Washington County 10 years ago with my husband, one of the first questions he asked me was, are you going to get as involved as you did in Jefferson County? I probably will, and I have. So this is a beautiful county to live in, and my husband and I have been very happy here. Thank you very much for the recognition.
I think my husband would probably say the same thing. It's tough not to be an overachiever. But I like to work behind the scenes. I like to be the volunteer. I like to be at the bottom, and being out in front of all you guys is kind of different because I like to just see quiet success. I like to see other people take, the efforts of my work and run out there and say, wow, we did it. But, this is an honor. This is truly an honor. Thank you.
Thank you. They really didn't know they had to, or had the option to say anything until about 2 minutes ago. So at this time, I'd like to present to both Kathy and Dale a signed proclamation for Older Americans Month.
You ladies mind stepping in front of the chairman's desk there so we can get a good picture of this? Don't let Dan get in the way of the pictures. No guarantee Brian's camera will last that long.
Definitely getting in my steps today. Okay, you've got the condensed minutes from April 18th, 2025. I'll consider them accepted as mailed unless there are any additions or corrections. Are there any additions or corrections? Seeing none, the minutes are accepted. Communications?
Communications from Warren County, we are in receipt of their resolution numbers 195 Appointing member to the Warren Washington County's Industrial Development Agency and Civic Development Corp. Number 198, providing approval for the collective bargaining agreement between SUNY Adirondack and the Faculty Association of Adirondack Community College. And number 199, authorizing sale of real property located at 240 Sanford Street in the city of Glens Falls. That's all I have for communications.
Thank you. Committee reports, the audit committee?
Chairman, I'd like to move the audit report to the full board for payment and the total of $4,859,695.58.
Mr. Rozell, second. Fedler, Hall, Baker, O'Brien, Hahn, and Clary. Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. And now we got the mortgage tax warrant.
Move the mortgage tax warrant.
Moved by Supervisor Campbell, second. Fedler, Hall, O'Brien, Clary. Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay, we have introduction to local law B of 2025. The clerk would read the title, please.
County of Washington, New York, introductory local law B of 2025, introduced by Supervisors Shaw, Clary, Campbell, Skelly, Baker, a local law to repeal local law number 7 of 2024 and enact an occupancy tax as authorized by act of the New York State Legislature.
Consider local law B introduced. Supervisor privilege of the floor. Does anyone want privilege?
Yes, please, Chairman. I'd like to call it Charlie Devine.
If this Mike, you have 5 minutes. I'm definitely going to hook you at 5 minutes. You'll hear the alarm go off over here.
Up door. Just open it up. Thank you for inviting us here. We're from Hudson River Highway Project. And just a little about me. I'm here with Olivia Fuller from Fuller Acres Farm. I grew up in Brooklyn, New York, and moved up to Hebron around 1997. During Vietnam, I was in the Navy for 8 years, so I know something about boats and ships. I then worked for Unisys Corporation, and the best job I ever had was teaching middle school students math and science. But a group of us have gotten together for the past 3 years to look at what we could do to transport farm products from our area and the rest of New York State down the Hudson River. This has already been studied. In 2013, there was a study out, and they said, well, if you could get this much product to Albany, you could then make a go of it. And that was something like 35 trailers of food, which at the time was kind of competing against trucking. There are most of the trucks that come to New York City go to Hunts Point, and they come from California, Mexico, state of Washington, and the Midwest. And we can't beat that somehow. So our thinking was maybe we're pretty smart at doing this, but it's a complicated problem. It's a whole logistics system, and it has to, in the end, meet the farmer's need. That's where the source of the food is. So lots of solutions we've heard. No, you don't understand. The farmer needs to have a trailer on the farm, load it up, bring it to the pier in Albany, and take an empty back to the farm. That's it. If we can make it that simple, and then the product goes downriver and is already sold, and on the way back, the farmer gets a ping on the telephone saying, you're paid. How do we do that in this day and age? That's what we're trying to figure out. And our ask, because things are starting to move. So, do we have a freight operator on the Hudson River? Not really, until recently, and that's Carver Marine in Queens, just south of Albany. They heard our pitch and said, this is great. Sure, we can put on. We could give you a barge And they don't go down with one barge. They go down with several barges. We just be a piece of what else they're doing to deliver gravel or cement or sand, whatever it is, down to the Bronx. New York City, in the meantime, is fixing piers in New York City because they need more products transferred by water. So if we are in the right place at the right time, here in Washington County, we can put together a plan that will work for the rest of the state. We're also working with a group in Rochester. That's the Headwater Food Hub. They're already making products that they're getting to New York City. So we're really talking about the whole state. The Oneida County Cornell Cooperative Extension has Myron Thurston there. He's responsible for trying to figure out how to get all this food to New York City. And right now, the trucking is not working. It's more expensive. Young people are not signing up to do trucking in New York City. So they're having their trucking companies going out of business and going bankrupt. So we might be in a position to move ahead and do this project. What is the ask? Not looking for any money. We need a few really intelligent logistics people who some of you, I'm sure, know. And we need to have them.
1 minute. 1 minute left.
Thank you. I'm actually done, unless anybody has any questions. And you have a paper there that kind of describes this project in 4 pages. So I'm not going to belabor everything on the paper. Read it, give me or Olivia a phone call and let us know, or an email and let us know. We've got somebody who could help you put this together. No one's getting paid. No, this is not a company, we're just trying to get something solved, working with people in New York City and the rest of the state to see if we can put together and get farming back on its feet by using the biggest market in the entire nation is New York City. Did I make it?
You got 4 seconds left. Good.
Oh, my Rotary friends would be so happy. It's like, oh my God. They said, you'll never talk in 5 minutes.
Actually, I've been trying to push that kind of an agenda for the past 10 or 15 years. That I think the canal is a hugely underused resource that we have since the base closed up there. Where it's going downhill, and I really think it's something we need to push on. I'm really glad to see you bring that forward. You're waving your arms. You got another one?
Chairman, I am sorry. I made a mistake. I was supposed to talk to Sam Hall about having one of his constituents so he could put it forward. Olivia Fuller is from the town of Fort Ann, and she's speaking from an agricultural point of view, if that's okay. Sam?
It's okay with me.
Thank you.
Okay.
Sorry.
Same deal, 5 minutes.
Great. I'm Olivia Fuller. I'm a 4th-generation farmer in Fort Ann. I'm really just here to share my perspective as a farmer and someone who is new to this Hudson River Highway project and just really intrigued by what opportunities it may provide for a farm business like mine. So my farm has traditionally been a dairy farm. That's how my dad and my grandfather, who also served on the town board for many years, how they ran their farm business. That is, as most folks are aware, selling milk is price taking and not a price making enterprise. And when I was considering coming back to the farm, I wasn't looking to get into dairy farming because I saw how difficult it was and how economically challenging it was to stay in business. So when I came back to the farm, I was really looking to get us into more of a direct-to-consumer business model. And so I worked with my dad while he was still milking cows to start to bring in some beef cattle by breeding our dairy cows to beef, raising those up. And then because I had more of a communications and marketing background from my schooling and my off-farm job, I kind of took the leadership of marketing our products to the local community, setting up a website and social media. And most recently, last year, we opened a self-serve farm store in our former milking parlor. So I was able to help my dad to retire out of dairy farming, where he still is very much involved in the day-to-day of the farm, thankfully, because I need his help. But I am charged now with keeping this farm going and becoming more profitable and sustainable going forward. The big thing for me, the first few years was to really just get us transition from dairy to direct consumer, where we have more control of how we sell our products and being able to get a better price for those products. And so I've been raising beef cows. We have about 45 head of beef cows right now, with young calves included in that. And we also have been raising pigs on pasture and lamb. Lamb is where I'm seeing an opportunity to enter a New York City market that could support that enterprise better than I'm able to do so in my local community. I want to get local customers buying lamb and educate folks, but there's just not a huge demand for lamb at the moment. And we have land, we have 300 acres that we're farming that could support more sheep, more lamb, if we had the end customers that would enable us to scale that part of the business. And so in talking to Charlie and the folks at the Hudson River Highway Project, learning that this could be a way for us to enter a New York City market without the overhead of having to figure out the shipping logistics myself, that would be the other pathway, is for me to buy packaging, to be able to ship on dry ice to New York City with FedEx or UPS. That requires a lot of initial investment that I would have to take out loans for and kind of take all that burden on. I'm really interested in this idea of being able to aggregate farm products from our region, from Washington County and beyond, to then serve a New York City market in a way that also aligns with the seasonal nature of our farm business. Like, for instance, I'm working with a processor for our lamb that doesn't have a lot of openings in the fall, because everyone's processing their animals in the fall and raising their animals to be finished in that season. Whereas they're really looking for space in the spring to bring more farm animals in to be processed. And if I could meet some of that need by having animals, sheep particularly, that are ready to process in the spring, then that helps the local processing business have more year-round appointments and support their enterprise, and allows me to meet a market in New York City, especially over spring religious holidays, where lamb is more readily consumed. So I'm just really interested in seeing how this, thank you. I'm just really interested in seeing how this might evolve. And as a farmer, I've just been kind of asking Charlie and the team questions, poking some holes, just trying to get some idea of how the logistics will work. And so I'm just interested in having more people thinking about this and kind of working on how do we solve this problem of getting food from upstate, downstate, to serve more markets and help our farms in this region be more viable. And that's all.
I would also recommend that you not be completely insular to Washington County. The canal does go up into Lake Champlain, and there's a huge market, or huge produce on both sides of the lake up there that I think could add to that model a lot. Thank you. Any other privilege of the floor? You haven't got any more, Sue? Geez, all right.
Give me a minute.
Okay. Going to introduce resolutions. I need a motion to set aside the rules for 157, 158, and 159. Have the clerk read the titles only, starting with 157. Moved by Sam, second. Kathy, Mr. Tall, Mr. Hahn, and Ms. Clary. Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 157 by Supervisor Wilson, title: a resolution authorizing the issuance not to exceed 4,389,000 serial bonds of the County of Washington, New York, for the replacement of the existing process control and administration building located at 17 Cortlandt Street, Fort Edward, Washington County, New York, including the demolition of the existing PCAB, the design and construction of a new PCAB located at 17 Cortlandt Street, Fort Edward, New York, Washington County, excavation and grading of the site, and the acquisition of original furnishings, equipment, machinery, and apparatus required for the purposes the PCAB building is to be used. Resolution number 158 by Supervisor Campbell, title: to amend 2024 budget for various departments. And resolution number 159 by Supervisor Hogan, title urging federal officials to consult with healthcare practitioners and elected officials on the localized effects of Medicaid spending reductions, to exercise caution when considering such reductions and to implement only those reductions that allow for the preservation of a robust healthcare delivery system.
You. Don't believe you recess. Let's move on to the consideration of resolutions.
Resolution number 131 by Supervisor Shaw, Clary, Campbell, Skelly, Baker, title resolution of the Board of Supervisors of Washington County establishing the Board of Supervisors of Washington County as lead agency pursuant to the State Environmental Quality Review Act relative to the proposed project of the application by the Board of Supervisors to the New York State Office of Parks, Recreation, and Historic Places Snowmobile Trail Grant and Aid application for the year 2025-26.
Chairman, moving resolution 131.
Second, Fedler, Hall, Baker, Hahn, Campbell, Larry. Discussion. This is not the one where you go through those. Next one, right? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 132 by Supervisors Shaw, Clary, Campbell, Skelly, Baker, title resolution of the Board of Supervisors of Washington County issuing a negative declaration pursuant to the State Environmental Quality Review Act relative to the proposed project of the application by the Board of Supervisors to the New York State Office of Parks, Recreation, and Historic Places Snowmobile Trail Grant and Aid application for the year 25-26.
Mr. Chairman, moving resolution 132.
Pleasure Shaw, second. Fedler, Hall, Baker, O'Brien, Campbell, and Clary. Discussion.
I'm going to go over the Part 2 short form assessment. Answer the questions as I read them. Number 1, will the proposed action create a material conflict with an adopted land use plan or zoning regulations? Will the proposed action result in a change in the use of intensity or in the use or intensity of use of the land? Will the proposed action impair the character or quality of the existing community? Will the proposed action have an impact on the environmental characteristics that cause the establishment of a critical environmental area or CEA? Will the proposed action result in an adverse change in the existing level of traffic or affect existing infrastructure for mass transit, biking, or walkways? Will the proposed action cause an increase in the use of energy and as it fails to incorporate reasonable available energy conservation and renewable energy opportunities? Will the proposed action impact either public or private water supplies or public-private wastewater treatment facilities? Will the proposed action impair the character or quality of important historical, archaeological, architectural, or aesthetic resources? Will the proposed action result in an adverse change to the natural resources, for example, wetlands, water bodies, groundwater, air quality, flora, and fauna? Will the proposed action result in an increase in the potential for erosion, flooding, or drainage problems? And will the proposed action create a hazard to environmental resources or human health?
I just wanted to state that if you look at this, it takes 4 pages to say no. Just in the resolution before, you had an opportunity to ask us to say no again.
I don't make the rules, I only try to enforce them.
I have railed to no particular. Long time. We keep on doing it. Now it's gotten worse. We have to read through all 11 questions each time. This next one's a lot worse. Further discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 133 by Supervisors Wilson, Skelly, O'Brien, Shaw, Clary, Roselle, Fisher, Baker, Wang, title to approve change order, Washington County Sewer District Number 2, concrete improvements.
Chairman, moving resolution number 1.
Pleasure Wilson, second. Fedler, Hall, Baker, O'Brien, Larry, and Wang. Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 134 by Supervisor Skelly, Wilson, Hogan, Rozell, Nolan, Baker, Hahn, title to adopt Washington County Domestic Terrorism Prevention Plan.
Kelly, second. Fiddler, Tall, Hall, Baker, O'Brien, Hahn, Larry, and Wang. Discussion on this one. Mr. Shaw.
Just a quick question. We got a grant to develop the project. Is there going to be an operating cost to this? I just kind of read it over and I couldn't tell if there's does this add anything to our budget if we adopt the plan? Does it increase staff? Does it increase anything? I was just curious.
Had one of these before. I believe it's just what, if there's an instance of terrorism, this is how you behave.
Well, if there's an act of terrorism, but I meant just keep the project alive. If you read the packet, which I've read, Domestic Terrorism Prevention Plan, I mean, there's a lot there. Is it going to take somebody just to administer it? That's what I'm saying, another person, and that's what I'm concerned about. Are we adding a cost into the budget that we're not aware of?
Not at this time.
Requirement was to have a plan on the books, should an event occur.
Right.
To maintain the plan, I don't believe anybody's proposing adding additional resources, staffing wise, to our public safety offices and other things downstairs. But I mean, if we were to activate it and sustain it over a period of time, would we need additional resources? Perhaps, but then we might be in a state of emergency and you're going to need them anyway, right?
Well, Supervisor Wilson just mentioned what I was going to do about sustainability afterwards. Yes, there would be expenses that would probably go along with that once, should we get to that point. But that would happen without the plan if we had to go into an emergency situation.
Plan in effect, we know where we're going to have to put additional resources if we have to sustain it. That was the whole idea of the planning process.
Oh, Mr. Shaw said that there's a lot of good information. I'm not sure it was worth $172,000 to get it. And that was taxpayer dollars, even if they weren't local dollars. And I think that tells what our story is in the state government today and the federal government. That's why a lot of things are in change right now. That's a lot of money to do in each county. And I don't know, I'm sure other counties were far more expensive and some were probably less. But that's the cost of government today. That's a huge number.
Was required. It was an executive order. It was required. It was nothing that the county decided to do on its own. I just want to make sure that goes in the minutes. That Hochul assigned an executive order. We were required to do this and we had a deadline and it's been completed. They did throw money at it and it was taxpayer dollars, but it wasn't local dollars. So just to make sure all that gets on. It wasn't something we chose to do. It's good, but it wasn't something we randomly spent money on.
Aye.
Resolution number 135 by Supervisors Wilson, Skelly, O'Brien, Shaw, Clary, Rozell, Fisher, Baker, Wang, title, Resolution of the Board of Supervisors of Washington County classifying proposed project and establishing Board of Supervisors as lead agency pursuant to the State Environmental Quality Review Act relative to the proposed project for the design, funding, and construction of a process control and administration building and demolition of existing PCAB at Washington County Sewer District Number 2, including obtaining original furnishings, equipment, machinery, and apparatus in the Village of Fort Edward, Washington County, New York, and rendering determination of significance thereon in accordance with seeker.
Resolution 135.
Supervisor Wilson, second. Fiddler, Hall, Baker, O'Brien, Hahn, Larry, and Wang.
This one's gonna take a little longer, unfortunately. Number one, does the proposed action involve construction on or physical alteration of the land surface of the proposed site? Checkbox is yes.
The,
That's what page you're on.
maybe the,
Page 1 of 10 on part 2. So it's about, I think about 9 pages in. I'm starting on the back page. After the mapper summary report. Proposed action involve construction on or physical alteration of the land surface of the proposed site. Does the proposed action involve construction on land where the depth of the water table is less than 3 feet? Does the proposed action involve construction on slopes of 15% or greater? Does the proposed action involve construction on land where bedrock is exposed or generally within 5 feet of existing ground surface? Does the proposed action involve the excavation and removal of more than 1,000 tons of natural material? Does the proposed action involve construction that continues for more than 1 year or in multiple phases? Does the proposed action result in increased erosion, whether from physical disturbance or vegetation removal? Does the proposed action, is the proposed action located within a coastal erosion hazard area? Okay. Number 2, does the proposed action result in the modification or destruction of or inhibit access to any unique or unusual landforms on the site? Number 3, does the proposed action affect one or more wetlands or other surface water bodies? Number 4, does the proposed action result in new or additional use of groundwater or have the potential to increase contaminants to groundwater or an aquifer? Does the proposed action result in development on land subject to flooding? Does the proposed action include a state-regulated air emission source? Does the proposed action result in the loss of flora or fauna? Does the proposed action impact agricultural resources? Does the land use of the proposed action differ obviously from or in sharp contrast to the current land use patterns between the proposed project and a scenic or aesthetic resource? Does the proposed action occur in or adjacent to a historic or archaeological resource? Does the proposed action occur wholly or partially within or substantially contiguous to any buildings, archaeological sites, or districts within which are listed in or on the National State Registry of Historical Places, or that has been determined by the Commissioner of the New York State Office of Parks, Recreation, and Historic Preservation to be eligible for listing on the State Register of Historical Places? Does the proposed action occur wholly or partially within or substantially contiguous to an area designated as sensitive for archaeological sites on the New York State Historic Preservation Office SHPO Archaeological Site Inventory? Does the proposed action may occur wholly or partially within or substantially contiguous to an archaeological site not included on the New York State SHPO inventory? Number 11, does the proposed action result in a loss of recreational opportunities or reduction of an open space resource as designated in any adopted municipal open space plan? Number 12, is the proposed action located within or adjacent to a critical environmental area? Number 13, does the proposed action result in a change to an existing transportation system? Number 14, does the proposed action cause an increase in the use of any form of energy? Number 15, does the proposed action result in an increase in noise, odors, or outdoor lighting? Number 16, does the proposed action have an impact on human health from exposure to new or existing sources of contaminants? Number 17, is the proposed action inconsistent with adopted land use plans? Number 18, is the proposed project inconsistent with the existing community character? Wait, that's the last you hear from me today.
That's the easiest thing to do all day.
We're gonna make that safe.
We've all answered these according to what's been checked on the box, but has there been any thorough research done as far as these answers are accurate?
To the best of my knowledge, this was prepared by the sewer district attorney in preparation for this resolution, as far as I'm aware, and why the two on certain places refers back to the first one. So there's been plenty of time to do the research to make sure the actions are accurate. Yes.
Further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 136 by Supervisors Tall, Hall, Wilson, Baker, Hahn, titled to make appointment to the Washington County Office for the Aging Advisory Council.
Mr. Chairman, moving resolution number 136.
Supervisor Tall, second. Pedler, Baker, O'Brien, Hahn, Campbell, Larry. Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 137 by Supervisors Tall, Hall, Wilson, Baker, Hahn, titled make appointment to the Professional Advisory Board, Public Health.
Resolution number 137.
Supervisor Tall, second. Pedler, Hall, Baker, O'Brien, Hahn, Campbell. Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Resolution number 138 by Supervisors Hall, Campbell, O'Brien, Skelly, Wilson, Nolan, title amend staffing patterns, Sewer District Number 2.
Chairman, move in resolution number 138.
Supervisor Hall, second. Pedler, Tall, O'Brien, Campbell. Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 139 by Supervisors Shaw, Clary, Campbell, Skelly, Baker, title set time and place for a public hearing on Community Development Block Grant, Program Grant Funding Application.
Chairman, moving resolution 139.
Shaw, second. Pedler, Tall, Hall, Baker, O'Brien, Campbell, and Clary. Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 140 by Supervisors Shaw, Clary, Campbell, Skelly, Baker, title set time and place for a public hearing on the current Community Development Block Grant Project.
Chairman, moving resolution 140.
Supervisor Shaw, second. Pedler, Tall, Hall, Baker, O'Brien, Campbell, and Clary. Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 141 by Supervisors Shaw, Clary, Campbell, Skelly, Baker, title set time and place for a public hearing on introductory local law B of 2025.
Mr. Chairman, moving resolution 141.
Supervisor Shaw, second. Pedler, Tall, Hall, Baker, O'Brien, Campbell, and Clary. Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 142 by Supervisors Campbell, Roselle, O'Brien, Shaw, Skelly, Hogan, Clary, Wilson, titled authorized sale and conveyance of Crockwell property, 240 Sanford Street, Glens Falls, New York, by SUNY Adirondack.
Moving 142.
Supervisor Campbell, second. Pedler, Tall, Hall, O'Brien, Hahn, and Clary. Discussion. Mr. Shaw.
It's got the number of 100,000 here. Does that mean that they can't sell it for less than that with our approval? Or does it mean they can sell it and that's what they're hoping to get for and they can sell it for any amount of money? Just curious what we're agreeing to here.
Resolution lists the listing price at this point. Obviously, any final sale has to be approved by the board.
Again, it'll come back again. Okay, thank you.
Question. I'm personally sort of sad to see this go. I think it was yeah.
Just a question, my understanding from consulting with our attorney was that, and Keith Kaplan, SUNY Adirondack, Vice President of Administration. I just wanted to clarify that. My understanding was that if we documented, that we couldn't sell it for that price, that would be sufficient, but if we have to go back to the county,
I would say you'd at least have to present the documentation to the county.
I'm sorry?
You'd still have to present the documentation to the county.
To the county, and would there have to be a board of the, a vote of the board?
I would probably rely on your counsel for that. Well, I think we'll have to see where it comes. I think there's a difference if it's, say, 95,000 versus, say, 40,000.
Okay, we'll be in touch with you then if we are in that situation. Thank you.
I had high hopes for this when they acquired the property. They started some very good environmental programs. I was involved in helping them set things up. I'm sort of sorry to see it going by the wayside that way, but it is what it is. Further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 143 by Supervisors Campbell, Rosell, O'Brien, Shaw, Skelly, Hogan, Clary, Wilson, Nolan, title amend 2025 budget planning to carry over unspent infrastructure resiliency grant.
Moving 143.
Supervisor Campbell, second. Fedler, Paul, Hall, O'Brien, Larry. Discussion. I'm glad you're resilient. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 144 by Supervisors Campbell, Rosell, O'Brien, Shaw, Skelly, Hogan, Clary, Wilson, Nolan, title amend 2025 budget planning to carry over unspent technical assistance program funds.
Moving resolution 144.
Supervisor Campbell, second. Fedler, Tall, Hall, O'Brien, Hahn, Clary. Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 145 by Supervisors Campbell, Rosell, O'Brien, Shaw, Skelly, Hogan, Clary, Wilson, Nolan, title amend 2025 budget to carry over unspent ARP tourism funds.
Moving 145.
Supervisor Campbell, second. Fedler, Tall, Hall, O'Brien, Hahn, and Clary. Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 146 by Supervisors Campbell, Rosell, O'Brien, Shaw, Skelly, Hogan, Clary, Wilson, Nolan, title amend 2025 budget for short-term rental software.
Moving resolution number 146.
Paul, O'Brien, Hahn, Clary. Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 147 by Supervisors Campbell, Rosell, O'Brien, Shaw, Skelly, Hogan, Clary, Wilson, Nolan, title amend 2025 budget to carry over unspent rural communities of practice grant.
Moving 147.
Supervisor Campbell, second. Fedler, Tall, Hall, O'Brien, Hahn, and Clary. Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 148 by Supervisors Campbell, Rosell, O'Brien, Shaw, Skelly, Hogan, Clary, Wilson, Nolan, title amend 2025 budget public health for chronic disease self-management program.
Moving 148.
Supervisor Campbell, second. Fedler, Tall, Hall, O'Brien, Hahn, and Clary. Discussion. Glad to see that they want us to manage our own health issues, but they're going to tell us exactly how to do it. It goes along with a former comment. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 149 by Supervisors Campbell, Rosell, O'Brien, Shaw, Skelly, Hogan, Clary, Wilson, Nolan, title amend 2025 budget for the purchase of Life Pack AEDs.
Moving 149.
Supervisor Campbell, second. Fedler, Tall, Hall, O'Brien, and Clary. Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 150 by Supervisors Campbell, Rosell, O'Brien, Shaw, Skelly, Hogan, Clary, Wilson, Nolan, title amend 2025 budget public health WIC for new office furniture at Burgoyne Avenue campus.
Moving resolution number 150.
Supervisor Campbell, second. Pedler, Tall, Hall, O'Brien, Hahn, Clary. Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 151 by Supervisors Campbell, Roselle, O'Brien, Shaw, Skelly, Hogan, Clary, Wilson, Nolan. Title: Appoint member to the counties of Warren and Washington Industrial Development Agency and Civic Development Corporation.
Moving 151.
Supervisor Campbell, second. Pedler, Tall, Hall, O'Brien. Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 152 by Supervisors Campbell, Roselle, O'Brien, Shaw, Skelly, Hogan, Clary, Wilson, Nolan. Title: Supplemental Mortgage Tax Disbursements.
Moving 152.
Supervisor Campbell, second. Pedler, Tall, Hall, O'Brien, Hahn, and Clary. Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 153 by Supervisors Campbell, O'Brien, Shaw, Skelly, Hogan, Clary, Hall, Wilson, Nolan. Title: To authorize chairman to sign contract to provide nursing services, Washington County Jail.
Moving 153.
Supervisor Campbell, second. Pedler, Tall, Hall, O'Brien, and Clary. Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 154 by Supervisors Campbell, Roselle, O'Brien, Shaw, Skelly, Hogan, Clary, Hall, Wilson, Nolan. Title: Amend 2025 Budget, Jail for Nursing Services Contract.
Moving 154.
Supervisor Campbell, second. Pedler, Tall, Hall, O'Brien, and Clary. Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 155 by Supervisors Hall, Campbell, O'Brien, Skelly, Wilson, Nolan. Title: Amend Staffing Pattern, Jail to remove nursing positions.
Chairman, moving resolution number 155.
Supervisor Hall, second. Pedler, Tall, O'Brien, Campbell, Clary. Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 156 by Supervisors Campbell, Roselle, O'Brien, Shaw, Skelly, Hogan, Clary, Hall, Wilson, Nolan. Title: Amend Budget, Capital Project number 130 for cost shifts, Middle Falls Barn.
Resolution 156.
Supervisor Campbell, second. Pedler, Tall, O'Brien, Hahn, Clary. Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 157 by Supervisor Wilson. Title: A resolution authorizing the issuance not to exceed 4,389,000 serial bonds of the County of Washington, New York for the replacement of the existing Process Control and Administration Building located at 17 Cortlandt Street, Fort Edward, Washington County, New York, including the demolition of the existing PCAB, the design and construction of a new PCAB located at 17 Cortlandt Street, Fort Edward, Washington County, New York, excavation and grading of the site and the acquisition of original furnishings, equipment, machinery, or apparatus required for the purposes of the PCAB building to be used.
Chairman, moving resolution 157.
Supervisor Wilson, second. Pedler, Tall, Hall, O'Brien, Campbell, Clary. Discussion. Mr. Shaw.
It's my understanding, and I see in your budget impact, it actually states it. This is for the sewer district. And so why wouldn't it be, I had take exception, it looks like we're borrowing the money, but we're not. We're borrowing it for the sewer district, right? I mean, it ought to be in that opening line that we're and doing it for the sewer district, number one. But with it being our debt, my question, and maybe you can answer this, Brian, is this going to impact our tax cap?
Yes.
Negatively or positively?
Any more that they spend, it goes off of what we can actually spend.
Right.
So, yeah. And to your first question, because the sewer district can only be under the county umbrella because it's separate towns, that's just the way it's set up. So it's always under the county
Okay.
umbrella, no matter
It
what.
almost looks like we're doing it for ourselves down there, but it just should reference the sewer district is all I think in the resolution. but minor, just my comment that I'd like to see that in there, but.
I just wanted to give you a little clarity on the answer about will it affect our budget? Until such time as their borrowing goes over what they're already levering, the answer is no. So they already have an ad valorem tax that they levy every year. Their debt service currently is under that amount. So until such time as their debt service exceeds that amount, no, it will not affect the county budget or the county tax cap. But this resolution
Doesn't add any more.
doesn't add any more to it. I just wanted to be clear on that.
I appreciate that.
Can't stand there for a second, Mr. Rozell.
And the sewer board do they have to ask the county to do this? And
Well, the
they've
sewer-
already asked the county to do this.
The sewer district does not have authority to borrow, so that's why you all see it here. Any debt service for the sewer district has to be borrowed by the county, and I sign that debt.
Sewer boards themselves know. It's already been passed.
The process actually starts with their commissioners.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Normally, though, it would come to our committee before it comes here. That's the difference.
So the project and the plan has come to committee, but because of some EFC timelines, they had to ask Supervisor Wilson to get it in front of you today. So if you've dealt with EFC before, you understand that process.
Anybody else? Thank you, Al. This is a roll call. It's going to be 2/3 majority to pass.
Mr. Hanky?
Yes.
Mrs. Fedler? Yes. Mr. Tall?
Yes.
Mr. Shaw? Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Mr. Baker?
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien?
Yes.
Mr. Hahn?
Yes.
Mr. Campbell? Mr. Skelly? Mr. Hogan? Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Mrs. Clary? Yes. Mr. Wang? Mr. Rozell? The rest adopted 3,673 yes, 753 absent. Resolution number 158 by Supervisor Campbell, titled to amend 2024 budget for various departments.
Moving 158.
Moved by Supervisor Campbell, second. Fedler, Hall, O'Brien, Wilson, Clary. Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 159 by Supervisor Hogan, title urging federal officials to consult with healthcare practitioners and elected officials on the localized effects of Medicaid spending reductions, to exercise caution when considering such reductions and to implement only those reductions that allow for the preservation of a robust healthcare delivery system.
Supervisor Hogan, second. Fedler, Hall, O'Brien, Baker, Hahn, Campbell, Skelly, Wilson, Clary, Wang, and Rozell. Is that a unanimous? Mr. Shaw did not second. Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay, that concludes the resolutions. Supervisors' comments. Mr. O'Brien.
Oh, about 8 years ago, I remember being in Glen Falls Hospital and Sue Clary and discussing getting the healthcare center in Salem. Well, being a dog in the bone, you certainly proposed bigger, and the opening was Wednesday. And there's quite a crew there, but that facility is a great facility. It's going to be good service to communities around there, and a good addition to healthcare in Washington County. And Sue should be congratulated for getting this done, because it was her spirit, her determination that really moved this forward. So thank you, Sue.
Thanks, Dave. But that being said, if it hadn't been for everybody here and everybody in Hebron and Salem and Jackson, Reading, letters and support and understanding that not only do we need when a facility like that comes, younger people come back home, they have jobs, they're going to work in your communities, they're going to, instead of driving 3 hours to Albany, they might be a Cub Scout leader, they might be on the Board of Education, they have more time in their day to support the communities. And not only that, but they have time with their families. So there's a win-win situation. I can't thank everybody here enough. I remember that Glens Falls meeting we had, and Dr. Duffy way back then, when we become friends, said way back then, if we're going to solve this problem, we just have to have more babies. And I'm thinking, oh my God, we're way too old to be thinking about this, but every step of the way, people have been supportive, and I can't thank Glens Falls Hospital and Hudson Headwaters enough in their partnering and networking and making sure that we have good health care. Joint effort. So thank you.
Wayne.
A man who committed himself to the values of faith, hope, and charity, and in so doing left a legacy which strengthened all of our communities. So I just wanted to acknowledge that and also ask for your prayers of comfort to his family.
Lights. It looks like it's all done. Does anybody know if it is, or is it close to being done? Oh. That isn't installed yet. Well, when the construction office trailer was gone, I said, man, they left town. So I was curious if, I assumed that was in by now. I do remember him mentioning that. Yeah. Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I know as supervisors, we've been called a lot of things over our course in time, but I think that's the first time I've ever heard any of us referred to as a dog. So I apologize, Sue, for my whole heart here, Mr. O'Brien.
Such a step.
I would comment for Mr. Shaw's comment here. I have received a lot of very positive feedback from the public on how that Middle Falls barn looks and how it's coming along. Several people, stop me here and they're in the restaurant or wherever and talk about how good that looks and what a wonderful job it was. Everything. So kudos to whoever. Mr. Wilson's next.
Just the month of May, during this month, in a couple of days' time, just ask that communities take time to pause and reflect on the meaning of Memorial Day and the fact that we're going to give thanks in some way for the appreciation that we have for some of our warriors who have fallen defending our way of life here. And to reflect even more so on the 250th anniversary, because some of us have family members that participated in those times and were also fallen during that time period to create this nation. And I too have several friends that never came back. So thank you.
Thank you for that. I want to invite everybody to, I regret Mr. Nolan is not here today, to the best parade in Hartford, or in Washington County, which is the Hartford Memorial Day Parade. It'll kick off at 6 p.m. I hope to see everyone there.
Still a good Memorial Day, but the best parade in Washington County is Argyle 4th of July. Mr. Campbell.
Well, my question is for Mr. Shaw, since he's been monitoring this fuel station down there that we don't have fuel on yet. I just want to know how the WEX card worked, since that's how you had to get your fuel. Well, we didn't have any. Was it advantageous, not advantageous? How did you portray that as a town?
Yes. We got the card, but there was a limit on it. And it was $150. We couldn't fill the first truck up. And then when we went to try to change the limit, nobody at the other end could figure out how to do it. It involved 3 people at our end, and they actually got frustrated. And I think they ended up getting a different card because they couldn't get the first one straightened out. So
I'm glad I asked. That was worth it.
I mean, I have 3 things. The Adirondack graduation was this past weekend, and so doing that, Washington County sponsors 80K, and we sponsored Dalen Morehouse as a exemplary student. She's a works full-time, was going to school full-time, was at the top of her class, plus somehow managed to she's an older, 7 sessions of tutoring throughout the year to help other students. So remarkable. Always the ADK graduation is something to, it's just humbling to see the amount of young people and older people. There was, I think, probably a 83-year-old that got her bachelor's degree, and she was pretty excited. So Dr. Duffy usually does very well up there on the stage. She goes with it, and she can be dancing on the stage. She can be handing out things, and then she can be chasing graduates down because they forgot their diploma. And so it was hard to sit there and think that this was her last graduation because she has done an incredible job up there. So that's one. Second of all, we have a very sweet and simple Memorial Day parade at 9:30 on Monday morning. It's actually my favorite. It's probably I enjoy it as much or more than the 4th of July parade because it really brings us home to who we have to thank. So thank you, Daryl. And thank you, everybody, all the veterans that have fought for our freedoms. So that being said, and Bob, you got to looking at your watch, or don't you got a graduation to get to? Congratulations on your watch.
Assie's sweating over here.
Just hanging out. My schedule is really packed.
Take care.
Chairman, I'd just like to take a moment to acknowledge Jenny Martell. She served as Granville Town Clerk from November of 2001, and she passed away April 30th from a very aggressive form of cancer.
Time. Next month is going to be our group photo. So make sure you come to the board meeting, make sure you look pretty. Okay, you're going to be immortalized forever. I'm going to try this year to do one like the old style ones you see in some of the old things with the group picture in the middle and the cameos all the way down outside. So make sure you brush your teeth and comb your hair and everything.
Bottles in our place.
I was gonna make a sepia, but we can discuss it. Anybody else? Okay, Mr. Shaw.
By order of the chairman of the Washington County Board of Supervisors, I declare this meeting adjourned and stand adjourned until June 20th at 10 a.m. when it will reconvene. Unless a special occasion arises and a new date is set, you will all be publicly notified. Adjourned.
Adjourned. Thank you.